What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 116 of Cali Brick Clique. And remember, before we move on, you can find this episode and previous episodes anywhere you find your podcast, Apple, Spotify, yada, yada, yada. And that you can actually comment now on the Spotify one, like if you were watching a YouTube video. That's no one uses it. I didn't know that was a thing, but apparently it's a thing. Also, our YouTube videos on the channel have their own category as a podcast. So YouTube just changed something for this channel. I don't know what that means, but it's new. It's not available to everybody. But like always, we have Claire, the Plastic Architect.
Hello.
We have Ninja.
Whoop, whoop.
And once again, I don't know how many times she's been on here, but she's at this point a regular. Emily Emmasaurus.
Hi. Great to be back.
I mean, it hasn't been that long. It's really only been like 3 months.
Yeah. No, I feel like I was just on here, but I feel like also so much has changed since then, and I can finally talk about extra things.
For you.
Yeah, no, it's been a lot, but
honestly, I was just gonna save it like for a year to give you like a year recap. But I mean, so much has happened in quite a short time for you. So since you've last been on, what has happened?
Oh gosh, I mean, where do I start? I started posting on TikTok, I think that's like somewhat new in my life. YouTube has done quite well, which has been weird to see, but also very exciting. My play button actually just got in the mail like 2 days ago, so that's crazy. I opened it and I cried, so like that was a really, really cool, like surreal moment. Gosh, I got to travel a lot. I don't know. I've gotten to do a lot of really cool things, and I'm really grateful.
All right, let's start with the play button because you did cry. It's emotional. I think it's I feel like it solidifies your mission here because you came here quite uncertainty, to be fair, right? Like you were quite unsure about what you were doing, and then you were trying to make this work. There was definitely a struggle there, and since then you've just a lot of things have been happening in your life. So and then you finally have not that you need it, but congratulations, you technically made it.
Well, thank you.
If you want to say that, I know. If you want to say that, not that, like I said before, not that it means anything, but it's nice to get a little pat on the back from technically your employer, right?
Yeah, the numbers definitely. I don't know. It makes me feel really cool. It doesn't feel the same, I think, as if it wasn't from shorts. If that makes sense, like just having it so sudden doesn't have the same I don't know, weight as if I was doing this and slowly growing kind of like I was like that grind. Because it happened, I mean, almost overnight. Like the shorts just kind of took off, and those 250,000 views. That was very quick, and yeah, no, it was really weird. I remember I was with Claire actually when it started kind of coming in, and we were kind of excited. We were like, wow, we're getting an extra 30 subs a day. Like, that's really exciting. Like, wow, a little boost. Like, that feels kind of nice. You posted
wow, 30 subs. Yeah.
Like that feels good. And then the next day it was more like 90. And then the next day it was 400. And then it hit 1,000 in a day. And we were like, what's
happening?
What's happening? Like, do we unlist them? Like, we were so close to unlisting them. We were like, do we let it roll out? Do we just because essentially the reason we started posting more shorts versus in the past, we really posted a few here and there, but it was really just, I don't know, playing with it more. We started posting shorts mid-January because YouTube was starting to actually give a lot more incentive towards posting, and so we were like, okay, that's kind of nice, we'll test it out. And also something huge that we've learned kind of throughout all of this is whenever a platform starts rolling out some new feature, like Instagram Reels, it was kind of cringe at first, right? Everyone's like, what's this weird new thing? Instagram is pictures. What's going on? But those people who posted Reels are now at I don't know, 1 million followers, the people who first started with it. And so, I don't know, something I kind of regretted for a long time was not jumping on the bandwagon. And so I was like, okay, if these platforms are trying to incentivize these things, I'm going to do it. I'm going to try at least shoot your shot, just go for it. And yeah, so I did, and I just posted a few that I had posted over on TikTok. It's this really kind of silly series of what do I have this weird thing in my city, and I just kind of B-roll all around the city, and then I end up showing what it is. I posted on mid-January, kind of in preparation for this new thing on YouTube that was starting February 1st. And then they started doing really well. Just around like February 1st is when they started kind of getting picked up. And it was weird. It was very weird. I didn't, you always think your shorts will, they kind of get a peak initially, like in the first day. YouTube will kind of push them out and just see like what happens. But then they die off for like 2 months and then they'll just like start doing well, is kind of like what I've seen, or just not at all. It was weird. I don't know. Like I'm happy it happened, but it was really scary and just kind of intimidating while it was going on because I didn't really know what was happening and I was truly like so close to unlisting everything. I was like, "Oh gosh, these keep going. When do I stop? Like what's this going to do to our channel?" Like it was really cool seeing the numbers grow, but it was also like what's the long-term impact of this going to be? Are these people going to watch my long form videos? Does that matter? Like all these questions were kind of going through Ross in my head. I'm happy I did it. I'm happy with what it is, and it kind of is what it is, and it's nice seeing those numbers because it feels really cool. But I don't know, there was like just so much uncertainty kind of going into that, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, no, like that's just crazy to think that you were this close to pressing the eject button and all this. Yeah,
Yeah.
because by simply unlisting, deleting, or whatever, you would have stopped it because
Yeah.
your videos that were being pushed out there for thrown out into the YouTube space would have been gone. So, although it was happening to you, a lot of people in like the content creator space within the community were watching this happen with you.
That's what's so scary. Is like, it feels good, but you're also like, oh gosh, all eyes are on you. Like, is this going to be bad? And if it is bad, then like everyone sees it kind of end up poorly. And, it's my channel and it's my income. And it's like, what's this going to do to my video views? And I remember when we got back from Disney, we had filmed a video and we were really nervous actually, because we were at Disney with, some friends while this was happening. And, we got back, we filmed. This is like around when the channel was taking off. I think we had already hit 100,000. I don't know what we were at. We were at some crazy number at that point. And I remember putting out a video and I was like, this is going to get like either 4 views or like a ton of views. Like I have no idea what's going to happen because we had gotten, a huge boost in subscribers at that point. And it was kind of just, I don't know, it was kind of like a weird moment, like watching your first video out in the open like that. And you're like, is this going to absolutely tank? Is anybody going to see this? Is, because something on YouTube is like the click-through rate. Now I have 200,000 plus subscribers. If none of them decide to click on it, YouTube will be like, oh, this video is bad and no one wants to watch it. So they won't show it to anybody. So that was something kind of going through my head. And it turned out okay. Like the numbers were just kind of the same, which was good. That was like my worst case scenario would have been like nobody watching anything ever again and like my channel's dead and like I don't know.
That would have happened. Like you have like a dedicated community that will click on your videos.
They're wonderful.
I think for many creators that are out there, you have a very loyal one. This is before shorts. The shorts probably inflated your sub count. But I mean, I remember watching your stream about to hit 100K, and then you had people in the chat saying, I found you through your shorts.
Yeah, no, that was amazing. And that felt really good too, because all of this, I don't know, I feel like there was like before shorts and like after shorts, like 2 like eras of our channel. And like, before shorts, it was like, okay, I know what a YouTube stream looks like. I know it like a live stream. I know kind of like what to expect from that. And like, when I'm building a set that isn't as hype, you can tell that from the numbers and what the numbers kind of look like for that. Versus like now, like every video I put out, I'm like, I just put out my first like shopping vlog after the shorts kind of, boosted the channel. And it was like, okay, let's see how this kind of video does. Like, because it's the kind of thing like I just don't really know. And so every video at this point is kind of, I don't want to say like a gamble, but it's just kind of like a learning experience. Like what's going to appeal to everybody, like the thumbnail and the title and even just like the content of the video. Like all these people subscribed because of Lego City stuff, like weird, fun Lego City video. And so it's like, okay, like I want to focus more on the Lego City. So this is kind of like a blessing in many ways, inflated subscriber count. So that's really cool. But also like, I can finally justify working on the city and like motivate myself to get into the city and make content in there, not only like on TikTok and doing like, the short form kind of stuff, but like actually film city updates and work on stuff in there. So I've been trying to work on the city a little bit more, which has been really nice. We actually just renovated the room again. We've been starting on Twitch and trying to get like a TV mounted on the wall in there, and like, I don't know, everything that goes into streaming, a stream deck, and just, I don't know, it's been a lot. But my mindset has kind of been like, it is what it is. Like, no matter what happens, like, make the best of it and like try to use that growth as momentum, like using my short form videos to then promote my long form videos. And something I've seen a lot of creators kind of doing, or at least like someone will make a short form video, post it on Shorts, and then, in the comments, they'll pin a comment and say like, hey, it was really hard to fit all this content into 60 seconds. The long form video can be found here, and you link it. And I don't know if this has helped, but I do have like higher than normal for me views on videos that I have linked over there. And because I get like a good number of comments, and people are always kind of looking through the comments as like something just entertaining, while you're looking at Shorts. If 1 in 10,000 views like finds me and subscribes and is like a loyal subscriber, like that would be incredible. Like every little bit, it really does count. And so like trying to convert people has been like a huge thing that I've been thinking about and brainstorming and testing. It's so scary. Like I feel like I'm even like timid talking about it because it was just such like a weird thing. And like I was on calls with friends and just like, what do I do? Did I ruin my channel? But I don't think I did.
I mean, it's still pretty new too. Like,
yeah, it was a month and a half ago, something like that.
Yeah, and still growing. So
yeah, no, it still is, which it does feel nice seeing the numbers going up. I don't know how long that'll last or anything like that, but it does. I don't know. It feels nice, and I'm just trying to make the most of it.
I mean, you're verified and you have that check mark now, so no control and pretend they're you. So that's a good thing.
Really nice. Yeah, I've gotten a lot of that. So yeah, just look for the check mark. I'm not asking you for your PayPal or your WhatsApp phone number. Like that's not me. I don't want your information.
No, but like the crazy thing about all this, because Claire brought this up in a couple episodes ago, where like a lot of people get the same viewership in like your videos as far as Shorts are concerned, but they don't get the subscribe count that you were getting throughout all of this. So like what was different with what you were doing versus like what everyone else is doing? And I personally think it was the personality behind it, because if you click on that, it goes to long form, it translates the same person doing this, whatever she's doing. That's essentially what you're looking for. But for me, like, and this kind of just came up as an epiphany to my head. So I've started to subscribe to a lot of people through short form content, but I am a regular YouTube watcher. So like I hit the subscription like tab and see what everyone else is doing. But I'm starting to watch people who I started following through their short form content. I'm watching the long form. 50% of the time I'm disappointed, but for the most part, I don't unsubscribe. I'm still there watching, depending on what it is. So I feel like, for actual the audience that actually uses YouTube just to consume as a mass, like, as their daily television show, like I feel like you're going to get a lot of viewers through your long form from the short form. I personally don't see like the people that I subscribe to like just popping up on my like if I'm turning it on. Like I don't see that. It's only when I go to the subscription tab, I see all the people who I find their shorts and their actual long form, and I watch their long form. So but then again, it's me, and I consume YouTube a lot as opposed to like an everyday person who, doesn't really have anything attached to it. They're just there,
Yeah. No, that definitely makes sense. Like that's what I was kind of, I don't know, like that was one of the things that went through my head was like, we were like researching it too. We were Googling like, are people still going to watch my videos? Like, oh my God. And it was saying a lot of like, you might see the click-through rate go down because these people subscribe for your shorts. They're not here for your long form. Obviously the goal is to convert them all over to that. But, if you subscribe for one kind of content, you're going to keep watching that kind of content. So they were saying like the click-through rate might be lower. And so we were like, okay, like that's good to know. But another thing was that oftentimes a lot of those people that are subscribing to shorts, like they won't see your long form videos because they're not even going to click on the long form. They just open YouTube and then hit shorts and they just scroll. So I was like, okay, that's kind of good, I guess. Like maybe it won't make my videos tank. Like it'll perform as usual or maybe even better just because of this boost. There was a lot that went through our heads for sure. Yeah.
It's a scary thought, and like I said, a lot of people were paying attention to what this is, and no pressure to that whatsoever. But I think
terrifying.
if it was anybody else, I'd be a little worried. But I think you're fine.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's good.
Like back to like the meat of like those shorts. I don't think it's just alone in Emily's personality. Like obviously I like Emily's personality, but I think it's also the makeup of the short itself is engaging. It encourages people to comment on the video so that maybe they could be in the city, they could be the featured comment next time. It, makes people feel like they have that like one-on-one connection with her because like, she's picking out that comment, she's going and searching for it. There's like some, parasocial relationship that's created through there. And it's, it encourages like additional viewership, and then it like causes you to keep watching in series, right? That's why it's, I know you're like up to like what, part 11 now, I think, or
11.
something. Yeah, great. And so like hopefully there's like 300 parts to this, you know what I mean, or something like that. And you can do this ad infinitum, and we've talked about this before, but like you can even take these things and make them into long form videos, like, and we've seen TD Bricks and a lot of other people taking that. They take the comments from their videos, or they intentionally ask their social media communities, whether on YouTube or Instagram or whatever it is, and they say like, hey, how should I do this? And then, they pop, they show all the comments that people did. It's just like, it's almost formulaic at this point. And no, it's great. I think that concept has a lot to it, and I think it was ingenious. So good job, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, that was something that I don't know. I remember we posted like I destroyed my Lego city on TikTok. And it was like a thing like my husband's out of town and I'm just gonna do it, whatever. And a lot of people didn't realize that was a joke and that me and my husband like build it together and that it's not being like destroyed, but whatever. Like so that did somewhat well. And then I got a lot of comments on that saying like, well, what do you have in your Lego city? Like show more of your city. And then there were comments like, do you have this in your Lego city? Do you have that in your city? And I like remember seeing that and I was like, Ross, like sometimes I feel like, on TikTok, it's like I don't know what to post about. Like I don't know what kind of video to make. But I was like, that's kind of nice that people are giving me these ideas for me. Like how cool is that? Okay. And so I did one, and it's the kind of thing like you try a lot of stuff. Like I've tried so many different types of videos. Oh my gosh, especially on TikTok. Like I feel more like okay posting anything because it's just short form. Like it's more whatever to me. Like, I try to be cautious. I'm not going to like post about like something totally out there, but something, as long as it's within like my nerdy fandom of like Lego, Star Wars, Disney, Marvel, like that kind of stuff. It's like, okay. I try to do kind of the weirdest ones on there, but also like normal ones. I get some really weird ones. There's some weird comments I get. And so if you ever want to just have I don't know, go check out the comments on those. It's wild. But then there's some normal ones like, do you have Stitch? And I'm like, yeah, here's Stitch. It's like very, very sweet. And then there's some that are not as sweet, but it's kind of entertaining. But yeah, no, I mean, it just worked out that I was kind of at a point like, I don't know what to post on TikTok. Like I want to do this and it's fun and it's quick and kind of like dopamine, just do it and you post it and then boom, like it just does well and it's exciting. Sometimes I go on a little side quest. It's like, do you have a turtle in your city? I'm like, yeah, I do. But also check out this haunted house. Look at this little elevator thing. That's neat. Anyways, and like all the comments are like, where'd she go?
I think you've touched on like a few points that I think are really key, and which is you've tried a lot of different stuff and you've been pretty like and you'll take aspects from like other communities, outside of Lego, and you'll try to bring them in. And it's not like you're reinventing the wheel here, but you're just like, being observant and, applying that within your capacity to like what's appropriate. You know what I mean? And I think that's the only thing you like can do. There is like a strategy to social media where it's like you are literally trying to be like a unicorn in a field. And I think that is a lot harder and it's not as smart. You know what I mean? I think like there's, I think you're intentional. I know sometimes you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, but there's a lot of intention with the things that you do. And, you deserve to like be proud of that and, give yourself like credit, because it's not like half-assed, if that's what it, you know what I mean? There are elements that maybe you're like, I don't feel like editing more. I don't want to do that or whatever, like that maybe you could like question and be like, whatever, I was being lazy or something. But your decision making is not. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and that's, I think, what's really important. And also quickly changing to what you see is trending is like a huge thing. So like you could even look at like massive creators that are still on the platform after being here for like 10, 15 years on YouTube. And like, what is it that they've all done? It's they've changed and they've morphed over time. And you have to like, we have, especially even in this Lego space, right? We have people that have been here for 10 plus years now, and they're not changing. And their growth is very different than they don't have rapid growth, which is not a bad thing. That's like it's just a different strategy. It's a different thing. And they run the risk of losing relevancy over time. And I think that's really important that you haven't done that. And what I'm curious about is like, and I wonder what you think on this, is like at the beginning, when you first start developing your YouTube channel, and people can say that like 50,000 is not in the beginning, but in the relative scheme of YouTube, 50,000 is like pretty, you're still fledgling, you're still like defining your channel. You can even say like 300,000 is still small, but like the reality is like, is that the time? Is this the period, like 50 to 300, maybe less than 500,000 subs, where you can experiment and you can make changes constantly and you can really like be relatively like flippant with like how you put your content together? And then do you have to stay a little bit more consistent, or do you need to keep changing over time? Like, I'm curious, like, is this status quo for the entire lifetime of your YouTube career where you're constantly having to change? Or is there a point where you kind of get to chill and like lean back a little bit? And I'm curious what you think about that.
No, I mean, I remember, oh gosh, like I know I've talked to like you and Sans a lot about this in that, like, the relative scheme of YouTube, because like 50,000 is like, oh my gosh, like this is so cool. Like we have 50,000 subscribers. Oh my goodness. Like I remember I was so excited, and it was what, 2 months ago. So like it was just around the corner. But I remember like 10K, I think we had just hit 10K. Oh gosh, like March of 2021, I think. And I was like, wow, 5 digits. This is cool. Like so many people. This is so cool. And like, 10,000 people, like that is a large number, like in person, but it's like, in terms of the internet, and like, if you saw, I don't know, it's like buckets, right? Like if you saw just like these many people, 10,000 people in person that were like, hey, I know who you are. It's like, overwhelmed, like, oh my gosh, like that's wild. But then if you looked at like a giant, I don't know, like if you looked at everyone on the internet and you picked out 10,000 people, you would be like, oh, that's that's very small out of the whole pool of people in the world. As I've like grown and I guess just like kept posting videos, like I didn't really know what I wanted to do when I started. I don't even think I knew what a vlog was. I just posted online and I was like, wow, these Legos are cool. Like, look at these little dots. And I reviewed this pineapple set. And I was like, this little dots pineapple thing holds pencils. That's cool. And, as I've kind of continued doing this more, it's like, okay, like reviews are kind of boring for me to make. I don't like it. Like, I don't really have, I don't want to review something that I just like don't even care for. Like the kind of content for reviews, like I don't really enjoy making them unless if I have like a lot to say about it. I see you, Ninja. Whereas like, and I guess also like, I don't really care to watch reviews. So it's like not a kind of content that, I even consume really. So like, how am I going to make a kind of content that I don't even consume on a regular basis at all? It's been really interesting. Like, I remember when I hit 10,000, I was like, wow, okay, like I guess I do this kind of content and I have to stick with it because I have 10,000 people here that are here for this specific thing. And if I change, they're going to leave and they're going to hate it and it'll be weird and it won't do well, whatever. And then you get to 20 and you're like, okay, now I'm like for sure stuck. Like I need to keep doing this forever. And then you're at 50 and you're like, I don't know if I can change anything now. Like if I drastically change things, it'll be bad. But like, I feel like my content has shifted, not drastically. I mean, it's still Lego, but I feel like my editing style has kind of, I don't know, morphed into what it is today very slowly and like through time. But also just like the kind of content that I do. And like even more recently, I started, I don't know, I'm kind of like, we used to buy a lot of Lego, you know, like we used to do shopping vlogs like 4 times a week or something. And I was like, maybe I should stop doing that. You know, Targets all kind of look the same. Like, you know, I could see like different Lego stores or Lego Land, or, you know, like I do, because I still like, I buy Lego, you know, like we have so much PAB now, it's like overwhelming. We need to buy more IKEA stuff to keep our PAB in, it's, you know, the never ending cycle. But, you know, just kind of shifting more to like, you know, using the PAB and like being more creative, and like it's morphed more from, you know, kind of just like whatever it was at the beginning, I don't know, dots reviews, into more Lego reviews, because, you know, that's kind of what I saw, and then like more vlogs. And that was one of my first videos that I like actually really enjoyed making, was like hunting for the 501st battle pack, and I surprised Ross with them, and like that was really fun. And then, you know, more vloggy stuff, because I didn't want it to be about the Lego, because I didn't really have much to say about the Lego at the time. I was just like, this is cool, and I liked building it, and I'm probably going to buy more because it was fun. But now that I have more experience with it, like now it's shifting more into like the Lego City and, you know, mocks and building with the PAB and building with what I have, and like, you know, probably doing more rebrickables and getting more creative with the brick. And I have more opinions now on it. Whereas before I was like, oh, is that a new mold? I don't know. Like, that's cool. I didn't know. Okay. Or like, you know, new colors. I'm like, is that new? I wouldn't know. Like every color is kind of new at this point for me, you know, like, whereas now it's like, okay, that's really exciting. This like weird neon yellow, like that's cool.
I mean, I think there's something really unique. Like I know that you really embrace the fact that you were new into the hobby and your husband introduced you to it, and your audience really responded well to that, because so many people were getting into the hobby at the time that it was really appropriate, and people were, and maybe still are, like really see a lot of themselves in their lived experience of getting into this like pretty intense hobby, especially if you can really, if you really dive in, right? You can control like how much you dive into it, but it can get, you know, it can change your whole life and the way you live. And I think a lot of people really liked seeing that with you. And it's almost like maybe they're also growing with you, you know what I mean? Like into the hobby. And then what's really exciting is that you can, the more you get to know the brick and the more you get to experience the brick, you'll bring in like people, like older people who've like been in the hobby for longer, and then they can, you know, almost relate a little bit more again. And then, but you still like are keeping an element of, I wouldn't say naive, but I would say more like there's something still fresh about like every time you experience something new, and that you're learning, like your learning process along with it. I think there's something pretty like relatable for a lot of people with that. And I think that that's a lot of the wider success that you're seeing, especially the people who aren't even in the hobby, who are now seeing your content and having so much more visibility. Like what's like the big, you know, is there dog poop in my Lego City on YouTube? Like how many views does that have? Like 11 million or something like that now?
16 maybe?
16 million. Okay. 16 million. Let's say like a million of it is like people watching over and over again, or a few million is watching people over. Let's say like, okay, but I mean, yeah, I don't know if like YouTube gives unique views for shorts. Like, I don't know what their data is, but yeah. So like, but let's say that, I mean, that's a pretty large quantity of people that are watching. And I can only imagine that the majority of them are not like Lego dorks like us here and the ones that listen to this podcast, right? So a lot of us that are like stressing out about the price of Lego going up, you know, are you also responsible for bringing new people into the hobby? You know, I don't know, like what is that kind of like tie that's going to happen further down the line? I don't know. There's just a lot of like really interesting aspects to people making wider spread content, and people as in like you and like TD Bricks that are bringing more people into the hobby, and like how does that trickle down to the rest of us? And initially I think it's only a good thing. Like just like, you know, let's skip ahead. I think it's a good thing, but we can like maybe like talk a little bit about like what that means, and like why would someone watching your video be like, I'm going to get into the hobby? That's interesting.
I know that there's a lot of people that are like, hey, I used to play with Lego and this was cool to see. Like, I get that a lot. There's also people that are like, oh, I just recently got back into it, so this is neat. Like, and then there's people that are like, how do you not know that thing? Like, I've been doing Lego for 40 years. Like, what do you mean you don't know that? And I'm like, I don't know. This is just kind of cool. Like,
those old farts are going to exist no matter what. Like, it's that, yeah. People are always going to mansplain whenever they can.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the big things I've seen for people getting excited, or like some of the comments that I've seen, is like on when I show IP in the city, or like when I show IP like on my wall behind me, and they're like, I get so many comments about this like Mickey and Minnie art thing. They're like, what's that? That's so cool. And I'm like, oh, it's just the art set. Like, duh, like it came out 2 years ago. But a lot of people aren't just like, after 20 years of not playing with Lego, like, I wonder what sets are on the shelf right now. Like nobody's doing that. And so just kind of showing them, and, even in like when I used to do a lot of reels on Instagram, I would like hold a mystery machine, or I would hold Wally, like things that are just totally recognizable, to just, I don't know, show something kind of cool. Like, it's different because I don't have like that nostalgia. Like, there's nothing that comes out from Lego that's nostalgic for me from Lego or because of Lego. Like the 90-year anniversary stuff, I don't have that nostalgia. Like, oh, I used to play with Lego castles. Like, no, I didn't ever play with Lego. Like, it's cool to look at. It's cool to build. And I love that set, but it's not like I bought it because of nostalgia. And I think there's a lot of people out there that are kind of similar to that, like especially among women. Like Lego really didn't appeal to women for a very long time, and really until recently more. And so, I'm just kind of looking at it from my own aspect of like, a few years ago, what was I thinking? Like, oh, there's a mystery machine? Okay, I guess I'll like get into Lego. Like, that's kind of cool. So just trying to make content for the whole world, like that's the goal, right? Is like something that anyone can see and be excited about. And, Disney's a big part of that. Scooby for me was a big part of that. Just having something recognizable that anyone can look at and be like, oh, that's kind of neat. Okay. And I don't know if that makes them a Lego fan, but maybe it, it just kind of reminds them of that Lego's out there and that it's something that adults can do. I've been doing it for, 3 years, so like really not that much time, but I don't know, just hoping to show people that like girls can do Lego and everyone can do Lego, and we can all just have fun doing this thing. And you shouldn't feel weird going to Target. Like, I hate that that's almost like a trend. It's like, oh, like, hiding Lego from my spouse or my partner, like sneaking Lego into the house, or like,
yeah,
stuff like that's kind of like, I don't have that.
That's me. That's me.
Well, I think,
me and
that's
like,
that's
just go
from a
buy
different-
more. I hope that people watch my videos and are excited about it, or at least like bring some sort of nostalgia, or at least like they just enjoy it for 20 seconds. That's all you can really do. And it's kind of, I'm not there to be like, go buy this set and become addicted to the hobby. Like,
no, but that's like what really good marketing does. They don't tell it to you directly. They just kind of give you a little reminder so that next time you're at the mall, like picking up, like you're at Nordstrom, or you like whatever, you go do your normal errands, you see the Lego store, you're like, maybe I'll go in there, just like walk through it. Maybe I'll go check it out. I think having someone walk in is like, when you get someone through the door, I think that's a huge win for the company. Just like getting them exposure to it, because Lego, like no pun intended, is like this little box, right? And then people either have it in their head that it's for kids and they don't even like pay attention to it. It's almost like a product that you have blinders on, and people tend to have blinders on to like a lot of stuff. And then social media kind of directs them into and gives exposure to certain things, like maybe the specific cosmetic, or maybe a specific cleaning product. Or like sometimes I watch social media and I'm like, I never thought I needed that, but now I do. And because I watched that video, right? And a lot of, I don't even realize I'm making that, that thought process. And I think a lot of people do that. And I think that's like the marketing power within that. So people get really upset a lot, and they'll be like, Lego doesn't care about AFOLs and blah, blah, blah. Well, you can't really get mad at them for it, because like AFOLs are going to buy the stuff anyway. They're kind of already in it. So like there's like a few more other billion people that would be cool to kind of expose them to it. And so doing a TikTok or a reel or a short that gets 16, 20 million views is only a good thing. And it's only a good thing for those AFOLs, for us, for like more people in the hobby, more people making content, more people watching content. It becomes more widespread. It normalizes stuff. And, Emily, we've talked a lot about it. Like, I don't think Lego is normalized for adults. I like absolutely do not think it is. I think in like some nerdoms and fandoms are, but especially not for women. I think women have roles that they still have to fill and responsibilities they still have to fill. And it's just like that. It's like, you know, it's very much still like a man's world in the sense that like it's okay for like men to have like nerddoms and fun things, but like women still wear too many hats. You know what I mean? And it's just like because they're still trying to like be taken seriously, you know, in like a work environment. And so it's like, and they're probably overcompensating for not being taken seriously. And so, you know, I think like getting in touch in that with that playful side, like a lot of women tend to do that with like fashion and makeup. That's like a very like more socially acceptable form of expression. And so I think there's like still a lot of work, you know, for you to do as a female content creator, which is like kind of cool because even if you're not doing it intentionally, you're doing it. So, which is I'm not trying to like put, you know, weight on your shoulders or anything, but it's like I think it's like a cool thing. I think if it were me, I would be totally motivated by it.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I really try to do more of. Like I really try to I don't know, like just I don't know, like be family friendly, you know, like that's number one. Like I try to, you know, I'm not like I don't make every video like I'm gonna be a role model for the whole world, but it's like no, like that's I'm making content that I want to make and I'm gonna make it
Relatable.
yeah, I just want it to be relatable. I want it to show like a
Mhm.
real person interacting with Lego. And I am a woman, so it's showing a real woman just having fun and playing and showing that it's okay and like going out in public, be like, yeah, I want all this Lego. Like this is so fun. And I mean, there's just so many it's weird when, you know, the two worlds collide, right? Like I studied, you know, coding and data science and all these like super male dominated things. And it's weird because like I'm such a bubbly person. Like y'all have met me. And it's very weird sometimes when I meet or like I interact again with like people from like the corporate world. And like I've had a guy ask me like, "Oh, so you're basically like an e-girl." And I was like, "Ew, that's weird. No. Not no." Like where do you even go from there? You know, like how do you like redirect that conversation to anything normal?
You exit. You
Yeah,
exit. the
Yeah.
conversation.
Like, okay, bye.
Out the way.
Also,
But
that's someone that like hasn't opened the internet since 1995. You know.
yeah, exactly. But also like I don't know, it's hard being it's something that I've been like trying to figure out recently, like as Emmasaurus has grown more into a business. It's like I'm a really bubbly person. How do I be professional? Like being bubbly isn't professional. Like it's just not seen as, you know, this woman like knows what she's doing. Like it's it's weird, but I'm also like, oh, I guess I'll just like be very stoic and like look upset. Like I don't know. Like I don't want to like act a different way, but I don't know, it's really hard because 'cause I'm like, "Oh, like, you can be, like, a business person and, like, still be happy and bubbly and fun and, like, you know, enjoy the conversation and, like, visibly want to be there and be excited," but it's weird because I don't know, there's so many different, like, roles that women have to kind of fit into and, like, you know, if you're bubbly, you're not professional, and it's like, why can't those things be more similar, I guess, or like, why can't you be both? But I don't know. I guess that's a conversation for another time. But you know, like when I create content, I really do try to make it, you know, something showing like, you know, girls can do anything. Girls can play with Lego. Girls can, you know, play with Star Wars. Like girls can do anything. Like making it just something that, you know, if I had a daughter, it's like, okay, yeah, you can watch her. Like she's not it's not, you know, a weird kind of vibe. It's I don't know. Like I just try to make it like I'm a real person just having fun and my husband likes it too and we just are weird together and dorky and it's fine to be a nerd. Like those are it's not stuff that I like actively think about. Like I don't start like hit record and I'm like, okay, be this person or anything like, you know, it's just like in general, I guess that's just like a overall mindset I have when going into the content, if that makes sense. I'm just doing my best.
Just being
Like,
yourself.
at the end of the day, I'm really just doing my best.
Sorry, I'm like trying to talk, but my kids are like running back and forth. It's pretty bad. It's the witching hour in my house, and for any parent out there, they know what time that is. So it's when they're like really, really hard to control. But
Right before bedtime.
yeah, right before bedtime. No, but like what you as a parent, what you just said right there really does matter. So like my kids watch YouTube minimally, but when they do, like we're like hawks to like what they're watching. And like my wife's rule is if there's a real person on the screen, they can't watch it. Like
Yeah.
it can't be like a person, like especially if it's like an adult. Oh, and now it's just like anybody. If there's an actual real person on the screen, they can't watch it. But I'm more like lax about that rule. I'm more like conscious about what they're saying because you can have bad content with people not in the screen too. So
Yeah,
it's like
that's what makes it so
it
crazy.
really it really doesn't matter. But there in the Lego space, a couple creators do come up on like kids YouTube or YouTube for YouTube kids. TD's one of them. In fact, that entire group they all come up, and I don't let them watch it only because it's like the it's just too much going on, and I don't like having them watch any of those types of videos. Like any of them doesn't have to be in Lego, it could be like just in anything. It's just because I don't want them to like literally get a stroke by watching what they're literally by watching what's in front of their screen. I like them to watch more digestible, slower pace, like for example, one of Ezra's things that he likes to watch are like this guy is called Cam Kennan. And that's actually like a regular YouTube, but like it's a guy who has like a little like sanctuary of reptiles in Florida, and he's literally there's no quick edits. It's like there's minimal jump cuts. He's literally just walking around his sanctuary taking care of these animals. And every now and then he'll say something that's like not necessarily like inappropriate, but like he'll say like a small swear word that I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm like stupid, like that type of word. And I could let him watch. I'm comfortable letting him watch that. So for you, I'm totally fine with my kids watching your content. I'm not fine with my kids watching TD Bricks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's a very big thing, and that's just because I want them to digest and like take in what's happening on the screen, and not necessarily just be entertained by the flashiness and what's happening in front of them, if that makes sense. So like being relatable, sword. Yeah, it is. I know their content's really made for kids, but like a lot of parents, well, at least a lot of my friends, we don't let our kids watch that type of content. Like Brick Science is probably the closest one to all of that. Like that I'll allow like my kids to watch, if that. Like, like anything that involves like clicking off, clicking on, like, nope, you click this video, you need to watch this thing. You need to watch it all the way to the end. And finding creators like you is really hard to find on YouTube. Very hard to find. So I think that's like, having that strategy, because at first it's like, okay, we can't really do much with this. Like, how do I, as an adult, digest your content? Because it's like, I'm watching you shop every day, which is fine. I mean, I know you, I'm friends with you, so like, I'm totally fine watching that. But like, how do you like push that out into the world to have other people be interested in literally you shopping?
Right.
And you've been able to grow significantly on just that. Now, yes, you're forming up into like the more, mocking and stuff like that, which is, garnishing in more different.
No, you're just going to Target for a while, yeah.
Yeah, for a while you're going to, but you're still growing. So you're bringing people along to go shopping. Like
we're just having a good time.
A lot of people can't do that. So
no, but it's not even that you're having a good time. Like a lot of people have a good time. They go skydiving, they like go traveling, and like so people watch that because they're like having a different experience like they normally wouldn't leave, But you're going and doing stuff that everybody's doing. Everyone's going to Target. Everyone's going to Walmart. You're just like making it, I think there's like an element to that. Everyone's like, oh, they're like me. They go to Target and like look at like what's on that Lego aisle and they see what's on sale and they get excited and they go pick up, they go check out if the Bluey size that they want is in stock or whatever. Yeah. No, but you know what I mean? Like it's not even, I'm really not trying to say it, but there's like something so not special about it that makes it, relatable. It's not because, you see like Casey Neistat and like those big vloggers and stuff, like those people are like, they try at least he used to, right? Try every day to do something extremely different and like super, like I took, I flew in first class, or I took the craziest train, or I did all jumped off a building. And you're like, yeah. You're like, I went to Costco, and it's just like, I think it's kind of cool.
I like one of the big things that like, I don't know what it was, but like, I don't know, I would vlog and I would go to Target, and then I would go to Costco and have a hot dog, and I was like, oh, this is kind of nice. I'm so glad they're $1.50 still. Like, that's fantastic. And then I'd go check my mail, go to the PO box. The really boring stuff is what's like really fun for me to film, because it's like, okay, like these are really like, this is a really boring day. Like, I'm literally doing my errands, but how cool is it that I can like film it and have it be quick enough to where it's like, okay, like I don't need to watch her check the mail for 5 minutes, but 45 seconds total, just all these edits clipped together. Like, that's kind of bearable, but also kind of fun, because it's like, okay, what you get? Okay, cool. Grabbed it, opening the thing, like all these like movement clips. So it's like, that's definitely something that I don't know, like it's just kind of fun for me, like making a really boring day kind of fun to bring people along with. And also, I don't really like being alone, so like vlogging is kind of my way of like, yeah, I'm like with all my friends, my internet friends. I'm like, hi, like let's go shopping. Like I'm happy people wanted to watch that. Like I've thought about that a lot, like over the past few years. Is like, man, it's cool that I'm making these videos that like I just want to make, and there's nothing crazy. I'm going to Target, whatever. But how cool is it that people actually want to watch it? Like, that's so cool. We've always just kind of been in the mindset of like have fun with it, and like if we're making videos we don't want to make, then like we just kind of stop and we stop making those videos. Because I mean, if I'm not having fun with it, like what's the point? Like it definitely shows once it's finished. Like once my video's done and I didn't like making it, I'm like, I'm not even watching it. If I can't even sit through my own video, like how do I expect anyone else to? Yeah, that's that's kind of how I felt with reviews for a long time. And that's kind of why I took a step back from it, because I was like, oh, I don't really want to film this. And now it's, I do things on, TikTok or Instagram instead, like kind of more digestible content. And it's like the kind of content that I would want to consume. Like it's wild that sometimes Eiffel Tower showed up and I was like just holding the box like, wow, Eiffel Tower. And it's not built, but it gets 16 million views or like some 12 million, I don't know, some crazy number on TikTok. And it's like the set wasn't even built, but like that's what I would want to see, is like, oh, there's an Eiffel Tower coming. That's good to know. Okay. And like, share it with my friends and, or comment and tag my friend in that. And like, that's the kind of content that I would want to consume about it. Like, I don't really care about the build techniques. I kind of look at the box, and I feel like this is controversial, but like, yeah, I just kind of look at the box and I'm like, that looks nice. I think I want that. Or, it's not really like the techniques that bring me in. I know it sounds probably weird, I don't know, bad, but I just try to make content for me, and I'm glad there's other people out there that are similar, I guess.
So you've technically at this point, with your 300,000 subscribers plus, have now been able to like push yourself to like millions of eyes. And this is also before your 300,000 subscribers. Like you were garnishing million views on TikTok, on Instagram, and Shorts for a little bit before the 300K. So as they say, views are way more important than subscribers. So that has huge benefits for you, regardless of the the views on the short long form content, because either way, your short form is reaching millions of people, and that has extreme benefits when getting sponsored sponsored videos, sponsored content, brand deals, and stuff like that. Because I know you really pushed talking about it last episode with you on it. So where are you at now with it? Has it changed much? Has it like reduced? Is it easier? Is it harder? Like, is it, and now you're a different level of like type of brand deals? Because like a lot of us get like the little, can you review this, we'll send you a set free, blah blah blah. And like you really pushed in the last episode, know your worth, right? Like have a spreadsheet, let them know this is what you'll do it for. And I'm starting to get a lot of that, and I'm like, I won't do this for free. So
Yeah.
is what it is. Like I personally, I'm just tired of reviews. Like I don't have fun doing them. So and I haven't done one like that's really dedicated to the actual set in quite some time. So to be forced to do something based on monetary value, it's like it's really not attractive to me. So, but for you, like how is all that now?
I don't want to say it's like too different, but I guess like, I was always kind of mindful of, like my time, and, if a brand reaches out for a gifted campaign, they send you an item and you review it, and that's kind of your compensation. I was always kind of mindful of like, okay, how much time will this take? Because some brands would reach out and they would want, I don't know, 2 reels on Instagram and a post and 3 stories. And I don't want to post something that I'm like not proud of. I'm still proud of my content and I want it to be fun and engaging and like a certain quality. Like it drives Ross crazy, and I can't film reels or TikToks around people because I'll like re-record a clip. Like when I'm filming, I'll have my phone, and like if I don't have like the movement right, I'll record it like 30 times because like I know what I want and I know what I want it to look like, and I know what kind of movement does the best, or what I'm showing in the background or whatever. It's wild with these gifted campaigns where it's like, hey, here's a little $20 trinket, post all this content, you're welcome for this thing. And it's like, you're really grateful that you're able to do this. And I took on a lot of that at the beginning. Like there was a lot of that kind of stuff. And as you kind of grow and you have almost like a I don't know, portfolio built of different brands you've worked with and different content you've made for these brands, and you can show this brand like, hey, when we did that gifted campaign, that did really well. And I think now that I have these views and like these other brand deals that I've done and partnerships, like here's what I think the value of this would be. Can we please turn this into a paid campaign, like a paid collaboration? So there's been a lot of that. Like a lot of brands will reach out and ask, hey, can you review this thing for free? And I'm like, I really I mean, truthfully, like I really don't have the bandwidth for a lot of that anymore. And even like the paid campaigns, I'm really grateful, but it's also like overwhelming at the point where, that's becoming a big part of my job now, is like, okay, navigating these campaigns, and I'm emailing like so much every day, but it's nice being at that point. Like this is what you work towards, then you're like, oh, I didn't know it would take this much away from the content. And so I'm like not uploading as much. So it's like kind of balancing that is a little bit of a challenge. And it's like, I don't know, it's like weird talking about it because it's, I'm not complaining, but it's just like an aspect of the job that you don't really expect. And especially when you don't start posting on, the internet to do it full time, it just kind of happens. And then you're like, okay, cool, I'll keep doing this. And then it scales up and it's like, and I really wish someone else could do the emails for me. But I also want to be that person that's connecting with the brands, because I see a lot of, these agencies, they want exclusivity with you, and they'll pump you out to so many people, and like they'll get you more brand deals. But I also want to be the one that's like looking at my contract. I want to be the one like communicating with the brand. I don't want to go through a middleman. Like that's a huge value to me. Like if this brand wants to work with me, they're working with me. Like I am the person behind that keyboard. Sometimes I kind of wish I wasn't, just time wise, but truly, like I think it is better having myself there answering questions and in contact with them. It's as it's grown, it's been, I haven't really seen the full effects of it yet. Having an inflated number definitely does have its perks. But I guess it depends who you're working with too. Like I've had some companies say, why are you charging this? Like this is your subscriber count. Like this other person has a ton of subscribers. They have like, way more than you do. Like why are your rates similar? And then I look at the views. I'm like, well, if you look at the views, it's, this is what I'm producing and this is what they're producing. And, if you look at that from that aspect, I justify my rates. So, some people will look at the subscriber count over anything. And then there's other people who don't really care what your subscriber count is. Like maybe initially they're like, they do look at the views. And like I've had brand deals before where it's like, I have to do like a guaranteed, like, I don't know, X number of views, or else I have to do another brand deal with them. And like that hasn't happened yet. I'm always able to like fulfill those quotas or whatever, like those limits. But it just really varies based on who you're working with. I think a big thing is, I've talked to a few friends about this too, is like, don't underestimate short form content. Like YouTube has traditionally been, a much better way to grow your brand and form those connections with people. And I think it still is. I think like, I value my subscriber, a subscriber on YouTube over, hundreds of people on TikTok. Like, people on YouTube, like they actually want to see me. They get to know me. They're there for like me and my personality. Like, I feel like they're there and they care about what I'm doing. And that's really cool. Like it's a much tighter community over there. Like you're really building community. And I've noticed that it's very hard to do the same thing over on short form, especially if you're doing like more of like the viral kind of style content versus really kind of short, you know what I mean? Like there's like the viral kind of videos, and then there's more, I don't know, like personable stuff where it's like, if anyone's just scrolling through, it's like, oh, like someone's talking about their day, and you're like, I don't know who you are, so I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? Like just the world's kind of scrolling through. It's harder to get people to stop. It's also kind of nice because, in short form, like you can back things up. Like you can show the numbers, and when something goes viral, like other things will go viral. People are coming to your profile. And I feel like it's kind of similar with YouTube. I haven't had like a long form video do exceptionally well yet. I'm still waiting on that. So maybe one day I'll hit 100K on a video. We'll see. But it's just very different across platforms. But I'd say like don't underestimate short form. It's I think it's here to at least stay for a while. They keep saying TikTok's gonna get banned. I don't think it'll happen, and if it does, something else will pop up and people will migrate to something else. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard reaching out, but I think like, when it comes to working with brands, like something that I've really learned recently and been trying to do is just like reach out to people, like find their marketing team and like shoot them an email, like shoot them a message on Instagram. You'll either not hear anything, you'll be told no, or they'll say, okay, we pass it along to marketing. Here's the email, reach out to them. Like, and none of those are terrible. And one of them's pretty nice, now you're in touch with people. So, it's always just good to reach out and try stuff. Like that's how I've gotten quite a few of like my partnerships was like, hey, like I want to, work with this kind of item or this kind of product. Can I get in touch? And they say yes. And it's crazy because I was like, wow, that was, easy, but you can also back it up with the numbers and, you kind of pitch an idea of what kind of content you want to make for them too. Or like you show them something similar you've done before that's done well, like, hey, I want to make this kind of video, but with your product. What do you think? It hit, 400,000 views. I think I can get those same numbers. Let's collaborate. Right. I guess long story short, I haven't really noticed a difference yet, but we'll see. I've gotten a few partnerships over the last like 2 weeks, which has been nice and a lot more to come. And it's crazy because like even it was before like I'm going to call it like the blow up on YouTube, which was wild. But like, it's not just brands, but like, it's really nice. Like, I think like expanding outside the Lego space has been huge and just like working not only with, brands, but also like actual platforms. Like that's crazy. Like, I don't know. I know recently like Twitch, I have a partnership with Twitch now. And so I'm streaming so many hours per month for the next few months as like kind of like ramping up my channel to just stream a lot more on there and like build that community and take advantage of like, those kind of features and expand my MSORUS network, I guess, from these other platforms onto Twitch now. And, there's a lot of opportunity out there, I think. Like for a long time, it was just kind of Lego and, maybe like third-party Lego or like, the Amazon Lego kind of stuff. But it's definitely expanding, which is really cool. Like there's a lot of opportunity out there.
I feel like since you've come along, prior to you, there was only maybe I think Ryan was like the only one that where people would reach out to do stuff for them. As far as like partnerships and stuff like that, there might have been a few others, like just kind of throwing out there, maybe for like Lego Masters and things like that. But for the most part, this like genre of Lego YouTubers in partnerships with brands and platforms is completely new.
Yeah.
Like recent, and you're one of the people that has been really promoting like knowing your worth as we stated in the last one. And like it's I really see like you need like a manager.
I wish
you need to start hiring a team. When do you think you're gonna get to that point?
I don't know. It's hard too because like I'm so protective over like everything that I do. I mean, I've thought about it. I've had calls with managers before, but it was really sketchy. And I was like, I don't know if this is a real thing. I think you just want like a certain percentage of everything I make. And I don't know if you're actually going to do anything because that's kind of how they work. They take like a percentage of all of your earnings. So like any like ad revenue from YouTube, like they also get part of that, even though I'm the one making the videos. So it's like they get a certain percentage of your whole entertainment
That's funny.
income.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's the kind of thing like once
You ever
it's
think about hiring
overwhelming.
an editor and then you doing all that managing?
I like my editing style, or at least like I like that it feels like me, and
Mhm.
I don't know. I like having control over everything.
But you will, because you won't post anything unless you
Yeah,
approve it. And then you have like you can give direction about how you want things to be done, how you want. It's not like here's all my content, make a video out of it. It's like no, you need to give them direction to how you want it to be showcased. So you still have that. They're just doing all the hard part of filtering through what exactly you want, which can take hours. So that would free you up to be able to do the face-to-face brand talking and or communicating with the community and all that kind of stuff, because editing takes a long time, and it does take a minute to find an editor that you really appreciate and you can really trust to get your vision onto a space. And they can also add a lot to it too, like like elevate your videos because they have the time to do it and because they're getting paid to do it. Like they're
yeah,
not going to just be whatever about it. They want to show you like, look, I have value. If I make this video good for you and this is what you want, you're going to keep me
yeah,
on as a retainer. You know what I mean? So maybe
exactly.
that might be an option for you. I'm just
Yeah,
spitballing here because it does look, just by the sound of it, it looks like a little bit overwhelmed. So
I'm kind of overwhelmed. I mean, I'm trying to do so much, and I mean, it's because I love it, and I'm also kind of a like I'd say I'm kind of a workaholic. I was like this in college too. Like if I have an exam on a Tuesday, I will spend all day Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, like just studying for this, and it's not productive studying, but it's like, well, if I go out and I do anything else, then I'm not, like I'm not doing a good job at accomplishing this task or studying or
mhm.
like getting a video out. And so I don't know. But I'm also I am very protective over all of my stuff, and
Eventually you're going to have to let go.
I don't wanna.
There's no way, like to go past a certain point to do all that work yourself. Like once you're past like, I mean, TD's an exception, but I mean like you're grown. You want to go do things with your husband. You want to go out. You want to like now you're trying to build this completely mock city, all that kind of stuff. A lot of that takes time on itself, plus on top of editing, plus on top of taking, talking to people on social media and or emailing through companies and going places all over the United States and or the world. During all that, your video content could have been edited. So
Yeah. I hear you. I definitely do. And I think it's something that I do need to figure out going forward. It's just
mhm,
I'm also a lot of, I talked to one company and about like, they're a full-on management team. So they are your publicist, they're your lawyer, they're, trying to get you on to daytime TV and interviews and, talking about whatever you have that's relevant in your life. They're getting you brand deals, they're helping you with your content, they're looking at your YouTube, and it sounds really nice. I'm like, wow, like that's exactly what I want, like to scale up. At the same time, I don't know, like they always it's often like, they want a 3-year contract and you're like, I don't trust you for 3 years. Like I don't know you well enough. Like I don't know if we even get along. Like, it's just like very scary jumping into something that you're not sure about and kind of being like, I don't want to feel like I'm stuck in something. And especially since like, this is my job and it's my income, and it's I've worked really hard in, creating this content and like building these platforms across multiple like different platforms, I guess. It's just very scary for me to like sign away any of this to
it's a
anybody.
part of a small business.
I don't
That's
like
exactly
it.
what you have to do. Like if opening up a restaurant, opening up a shop,
I think to
now
I
you
think
have to hire staff. Like you
I
have
think
to
to
be
a
able to
degree,
trust them.
yeah. I
Yeah.
think to a degree. The problem is like with these management, okay, you also should think about it like another way. There's other companies that kind of do the same thing. There's like financial managers and stuff, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
these guys take like huge, and property managers and stuff. These are like huge percentages like taken off the top. And sometimes it makes sense and sometimes it doesn't, because like you have to also like I think bring in like, are they bringing in knowledge that like you don't think you have? The Lego community isn't a super established like social media platform space. Every day, like you and Ryan and TD and Holly and these big creators are like kind of breaking the generic was up there for a while, like breaking the boundaries in terms of like what's capable. So like, do these guys really know that much better? So I think like I agree with you. There's like a point where like your time is worth this much, and you're and then like you have to delineate something, but maybe it's not necessarily like the management and the contracts and the negotiation, or like, you know, your brand deal partnerships. Maybe it's like the smaller stuff in your life, like, you know, you hire a cleaning lady, you hire someone to come cook your
Yeah.
food,
Yeah.
you like that stuff that maybe like can like shave off like different things. And like I like before I would hire a management company, if I were you, I would hire an editor. Before I would hire like you know, a management company, I would hire like some college kid to come and like help sort your Lego. You know what I mean? Or like break down your mocks. Like I think like that stuff is like really I would start, you know, you don't start like at the bottom before you like start at the top. Like for example, people will like hire financial managers and they have like not that much in assets. So like what they're and their time should have been allocated to studying the market, treasuries, banks, whatever like they need to understand to make educated decisions. Because like Tom, Dick, and Nancy over at UBS or whatever financial institution that you're paying to give you information, you know, they went to college and studied finance and just read the news. Like, I mean, yeah, they have like inside knowledge on other stuff, which is why they're legally not allowed to trade. But like, my point is like, there is a lot of stuff in this world that you can teach yourself. At the same time, it's important to recognize other people's skill sets and pay them for it, right? Like when you hire like someone to do work in your house, like first, or stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like there's a, I don't know. I know how you spend your day. And so I just don't think it would make sense. I think like you're defining who you are, and I think you should be, I don't think you should be hiring a management company. That's just my personal opinion. I think it would
That's
be.
why I said editors.
Even that. I just think I wouldn't even hand that off yet. You know, I wouldn't do that. I think it take so like PewDiePie like it's like him and one editor like even now, or maybe he had like 2 edits at the same time. Like think about it, that's like a 2-3 person team. He's like a mega content creator,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
No,
I
I,
mean,
think
you
that's
don't-
a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree.
And you
Like-
have, and Ross helps you, you know, like there's 2 of you guys making decisions about the channel, right? So, yeah, and you have someone to bounce ideas off of, you know,
It's really
and
nice.
you don't have kids. So,
Yeah,
Anyway.
on the kids part, that's a big plus.
on that note, should we go to
All right.
sleep? Yeah.
I think we should.
Yeah.
Well, Emily, you know what? Good job. Congratulations on 300,000 subscribers and counting. You're probably going to hit like at least 500,000 the next time you're on here, at least, if not 1 million,
think,
on
like,
the trajectory you're going on.
like I think like 360,000 would be nice by Chicago.
Yeah.
I think that might be doable. Yeah.
Totally
Yeah.
doable.
Yeah.
Just another 50K. Like no biggie.
Yeah.
No, you got this.
I don't
You
know.
got
I
this.
mean, it's definitely slowing down, but I mean, it's kind of nice too because it's like that was
You'll
a
figure
lot.
out another trend in your channel, and it's gonna shoot up. It's fine. You're
Hopefully, it's in
good.
long form this time. We'll see.
Fingers crossed. You'll be.
Yeah.
Congrats on the play button,
Thank you.
and then and the check mark. We are all happy for you. I've not one community out there that has congratulated you out there publicly has said anything negative, and we're all very, very happy for you as a community. So,
Thank you.
and with
Clearly,
that said,
Try has
what?
an ear to everybody.
oh, I'm pretty much like lurking on
every
every live
live stream,
streams,
actually, it's
like,
kind of weird.
literally. Okay, you gotta call me out on my lurkingness.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess I should say, is there anything you want to plug? Not that you need to. I'm just
Come
doing
follow
it.
me on Twitch, Emma_Saurus. Emma Saurus as one word was taken. So Emma_Saurus on Twitch. I will be on there very often with Ross. He wears a helmet sometimes because it's part of what we do on Twitch. And sometimes Ladybird is there and she gets a treat. So it's really fun. We build Lego. We're going to be working on the city. It's going to be awesome. Come hang out.
That being said, let's roll that music. Have a good night, guys. Peace. Yeah, you're fine. Good job.
Is that okay? Okay.
No, that was great.